Oh. Ooh.
Asshole.
Devin's all upset because he couldn't get the camera to work.
Fuck. Hold on.
What now?
I left my drink.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. It's your show. It's your job.
Well, you're on it. You're on it all the time.
We'll all quit.
And you don't seem to care about how you are viewed by the public.
I love opening with a nice big
nice attack. I am sick of this guy. Couldn't get the fucking mic to work. And now the camera looks a little off its kilter.
It's a skew.
It looks off its axis. This looks like Phil Leotardo's seat. Joey, just check it out. I think it looks fine. I think it looks fine.
So Devin, for 30 minutes now, has been messing with the camera.
Because it doesn't work.
Every time Joey touched it, it worked. Every time you touched it, it didn't.
Yeah, well, that's not the reason, though. That doesn't have any. There's no scientific reasoning behind that.
You have there's something about you. Maybe it's something unexplainable, an energy.
There's an echo, but we'll have to deal with it.
There's an echo.
The people will have to deal with it. We're
already yelling.
We're over at Joey's great apartment. We got the fucking Cinerama Dome picture right here. We got Chinatown, which is a great movie made by a man
Roman Polanski.
Who knows what he did.
I just want to say
nobody has any clue what he.
I just want to make
what he did.
Disclaimer for myself. This is my apartment. I did buy the Chinatown canvas, and it's a stunning work of art. I think Roman Polanski was wrong for what he did.
Hot take.
I believe in separating the art from the artist. I think Chinatown.
Same. I agree.
Regardless if he was Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
If Richard Ramirez made Chinatown, it's not going to stop me from saying that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Listen, if Ted Bundy was in Led Zeppelin, I still wouldn't throw out their catalog.
That's the thing. It gotta.
And it didn't stop Netflix or Amazon or anyone from purchasing the rights to show it to you again.
Yep.
Well, don't bunch me in with those big corporate scumbags.
Nowadays, people are so woke in such wrong ways that they think the problem with Chinatown is the name. They go, that's a little racist. They go, what? He raped? Well, we don't know. We don't really care about that. It's a racist name.
They prefer to be called Chinese Americans. Yeah,
Chinese American area. Of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've had a good day. We've all been hanging out. We've been watching audits.
A classic day.
Some classic audits. It's been a good time. I had a great weekend.
Go on.
I met Freddie Gibbs.
Right.
Oh, wow. We have a big Hollywood
I have
story.
Another more kid showbiz. Kid showbiz is back, folks.
At it again.
And listen, if anyone was wondering, I got the role where I yell the N-word in front of black people. Shocker that they found me for that.
This is an actual true story.
This is true. I'm going to be on NBC next fucking year.
Peacock. Go on.
Peacock. Screaming.
Don't call it NBC. Go on.
It was Peacock. It's Peacock. It's not. I'm not on Community. I'm not yelling the N-word on Parks and Rec. But it's gonna be a really funny show. I hope. I think. I had a really good time. I think they're really doing good things.
Our great friend, who we've known for 5, 6, 7 years now.
About 7 years now, when you think about it.
He has gotten his own show on NBC / Peacock.
Running his own show, yeah. And so I got a...
Peacock is their new thing. That's actually kind of is NBC.
Which now. I used to make a lot of fun of.
No, I know, but now like they're putting a lot of money into it.
They are.
They're now trying to compete with Netflix. It's going to be like a big network. But yeah, so he had a role, and they were like, hey, why don't you use this big Hollywood hotshot?
Exactly.
Why don't you use this guy? Why don't you use that guy? And he goes, no, my friend Devan's going to be way funnier than all of them in this role.
That's true. That's true. I would argue with you, but that's completely true.
That's how it went down.
I also think it's one of those things where they likely couldn't find, somebody with a career that was willing to yell the N-word on camera.
On vacation at the time.
But the cool thing, Freddie Gibbs is in the show. He's an actor in the show. Gangsta Gibbs, my favorite rapper alive, and it was incredible because during the rap party, he was there.
Wow.
And I got to I met him, and my friend introduced me to him, and I got hammered.
You made a fool of yourself.
I got hammered with Freddie Gibbs. I'm going to post the video on the Patreon.
The video is actually very embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's sweet and it's charming. And I'm a normal good boy hanging out with Freddie Gibbs. I'm just a simple boy.
I'm a normal good boy.
I'm a normal, simple good boy hanging out at a bar with Freddie Gibbs, and he wanted to show me his Corvette. And he goes, I got a 2022 Corvette. And I was like, oh, shit, cool. I was like, I think I said, like, oh, it's like a midlife crisis mobile or so. I said something. He laughed.
Wow, what a badass.
He laughed.
You really grilled him.
Hey, by the way, he's killed people. So that's a big deal.
Has he?
Yeah, I think so.
He hasn't killed anyone.
I think he admitted on Joe Rogan to shooting a crackhead with a
Oh, maybe he killed some people. I didn't know.
He's a gangster rapper.
Well, yeah.
Gary, Indiana.
From Gary, Indiana.
Gary is a
very
Gary is rough.
No, if you're from Gary, you probably have killed somebody by the time you're 12 years old.
Yeah, you got to. You know, it's the only way to survive in Gary, and I know that more than him.
But no, so Devan
more than most.
Devan knows it better than anybody.
The Gary, Indiana kid over here.
Listen, I grew up in Gary for a little bit.
He knew the Jacksons.
I killed a few people. I've killed people. That's why when I met Freddie, I was like, listen, you and I are two peas in a pod, pal.
We've both killed people in Gary.
two Gary boys.
Actually, once a year, I fly to Gary, Indiana, and I just shoot somebody.
Just to get
because it sucks. The town sucks, and it's actually legal. It's like how in Texas they let you shoot wild boars.
Yeah, they have
in Gary. They go, we have too many people. Just kill them.
Yeah,
you can come here. We'll pay you to kill them in a helicopter.
It really is a hellhole. I was actually there over the pandemic for a day. It sucks.
It sucks. I was in Gary.
Why did you go to Gary?
Because I was 30 minutes away. I drove through there.
Yeah.
It's like still a semi-famous place because the Jacksons are from there. Yeah. And I'd always knew it was there. I wanted to look at it.
It's an iconic crime town.
It sucks.
Did you like drive through the hood or what?
Yeah. I mean, everything looks like the hood.
It's all the hood,
You can't tell what's not the hood.
Did you see anything that was like, whoa, this is more fucked up than, you know?
It was just, what was the only standout thing about it is that the whole place is fucked up. There's no like area where there's an area probably that's worse than where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's all bad.
Top to
all
bottom.
looks like top to bottom dog
Gary
shit.
is so
There's
bad
not
that
a nice area.
No.
When you go to like a McDonald's in Gary, Indiana, the arches have a do-rag on it. It's a rough area. I was there as a child when the Lakers were playing the Pacers in the finals, and my mom didn't know any better, and she put up a Lakers flag outside of our car, like, because they had just won the finals and beat the Pacers.
Yeah.
And we were getting like almost run off the road. Like I had to tell my mom to take it down. Like people were flipping us off, and like
Devan has the biggest fear of sports rivalries of anyone I've ever met in my life.
Because it's real. It's real out here.
No, Devan has like PTSD from when they beat that Dodgers or the Giants fan to death.
The Dodgers fans beat the living shit out of a Giants fan in the parking lot, and they put him in a coma, and he's been forever changed. And
he survived.
I think he survived.
He survived,
but
so first of all, he survived.
He lives like Hector Salamanca now, but he's survived. Yeah, no, his life is great. He survived. He's Christopher Reeves now. But that was the reason that the Dodger Stadium put lights in the parking lot. There was never lights there before.
I learned this because my friend, Sammy Wolf, is on the Giants. And one time I was getting hammered at his house, and he had like a practice jersey that I basically stole. It's just like a cool...
It's a great jersey. It's like a hoodie jersey. It's like a mix.
You wear it to practice to work out, and like I honestly saw it and basically was like, all right, I kind of need this. This is pretty rad. Anyways, I started wearing it around LA, and Devan sees me in it and goes like, Joey, and I'm in the arts district.
Yeah,
Devan's like, I don't know if you should be wearing this, dude. Like, he gave me the whole spiel about there was the Dodgers beat a guy almost to death for wearing a Giants jersey.
They did.
And I was like, fuck you. Like, you're being insane. We're in the arts district.
The arts district, there's tons of Dodgers fans at that bar up the street.
First of all,
looking at it right now.
Well, so then something happened where I kind of had to bite my tongue at the Red Lion.
We went to a barn. Yeah, that one crazy guy was going after you a little bit. He wasn't going to kill you, but
no. So it was like at the Red Lion. It's a pretty nice it's not a dangerous bar by any means, but it's a, you know, there was like a group of guys that looked like they were maybe in a biker gang or something, or like a fucking metal band or something, and they saw my jersey, and it turned into to them going, "Oh, you're a Giants fan?" And I go, and then they're talking shit about the Giants, and I go, no, I don't watch baseball. I'm not a fucking loser. I didn't make it better. I go, it's my friend's jersey. What are you talking about?
You insulted them for even knowing or caring.
For watching baseball, which is, you know, for crying out loud.
It's true. Come on, baseball's boring.
Boring.
I don't
Literally,
like it.
Who cares?
I don't like it. And then they start going, well, then why are you wearing the jersey? I go, it's my friend's jersey. I support friendship. I support my friend.
And then they changed. They were like, oh, fool, like nothing is like stronger than like the bond between like a friend and another friend, fool. Like, you're right. Like, actually, like, I get it.
It got a little
like,
weird for a second, and Devin instantly took it to go, see, I told you.
I'm just terrified for you. There would be nothing worse than if you were to be beaten within an inch of your life over a game you don't have any respect for or care about.
No, I mean, let's face the facts. I would, even if I got socked by brass knuckles, I'd claw off my back. I would trip using a jiu-jitsu technique that I learned from Cobrinha. I would gain full mount and deliver devastating ground.
We should do that. We should put Joshua the Super Baby in a Giants jersey and like just parade him around Dodger Stadium.
Push him into the drunkest part of like a Dodgers parade.
He'd get fucked with. Honestly, there would be another baby in all Dodgers gear.
Caesar just texted me, by the way. Let me just read.
Let's read Caesar's text.
I love Caesar.
Joshua the Super Baby's dead. Who, by the way, Joshua's like famous now off the backs of this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, he's on ESPN now. After all the work we put in, we get no respect. None. Next time anyone ever brings up Joshua the Super Baby to you in that video, you go, well, I know where he made his bones. It was the Hate Watch podcast.
No, we discovered him, and I'm still his official manager, and his dad has contacted me all the time. And honestly, we've just been busy. And so I'll tell you what he said. He just texts me about like once a week and just says like, what's the latest? How's it going? What are we doing with the Super Baby? You got any sponsors?
What's the latest? When can my baby get brain damage?
Yeah. So he goes, how's everything going? I go, going great, brother. We are beginning to plan for the exhibition at Hegan's Gym. Higa Machado. That's the thing we talked about before. It's the gym that Ashton Kutcher and Vin Diesel train at. Caesar is friends with Higa Machado. He's a famous jiu-jitsu master, and he's going to let us into the gym to do an exhibition fight for a baby versus a dwarf. He's agreed to it. So I said, getting ready for that. I had a bunch of work stuff come up, so I've been a little bit busy. Sorry. And then I said, how's everything going with you and Joshua and Natalia, the wife?
The wife is great. The wife kicks ass. I saw some videos of her fucking kicking Caesar. She's like fucking, she's like Catwoman or some shit.
Yeah, she's like the Black Widow. She's a stunning Brazilian beauty, and I'm captivated by her.
Yeah.
And
me too.
I would do anything.
I would fucking corner her and do anything for her.
Well, I mean, I would
corner her.
I'd Roman
She'd
Polanski.
kick your ass.
I was saying if she asked me to do something crazy, I would do anything she asked.
Right.
Including very
like
perverted stuff.
Like fight her infant.
No, I meant sexual stuff with her.
Sure.
You know, if she said...
If she had sex with you, she would just be like, "Are you going to get Joshua? Is Joshua going to get the fight? Is he going to have brain damage?" She would be like, "Joey, it just feels so good, but like, if only you could give my baby, my infant baby, my only child, to possibly get brain damage in Dagestan."
When is the pay-per-view,
Joey? Oh, it feels so good.
Can we move it up to December?
Joey, this feels so good, but could you please get my only child to have brain damage?
Don't say that about her. She doesn't want that.
No, they're wonderful people.
And she's
just a little afraid of black people. That's fine.
She's a little.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess
Brazilians.
maybe because I was scared to tell this earlier, but now I've kind of like. I guess I'm a little jaded to the whole thing, but so yeah, one of the funniest things when I first started talking to the family is I started writing promos for them to say. And I go, here's the Hasbulla promo. Like, here's what you want to say. Say that you hate fake babies and that, you know, Joshua hates fake babies and that he's sick of these fake babies taking money out of the real babies' pockets and all the stuff that you saw in the old episodes. And then I go, so that was the first promo. And then I sent him like 3 more promos, and they were all like, he was attacking DJ Khaled's baby and Kanye West's baby.
She was afraid that
Elon Musk's
black
baby.
people would get involved.
Exactly. So
yeah.
all these famous babies, and I'm saying like, say that Joshua's going to turn DJ Khaled's baby's bones into a fine powder.
Yeah.
and so he's like, yes, brother, I will do this. I love this, bro. This is so good. Like, oh yeah, he's going to kill their babies. He's like, their babies they can't fight at all. And then I go, okay, thanks. So he sends me the Hasbulla one, and then he calls me and goes, oh, bro, like my wife, she like doesn't like these other promos, brother. And I'm like, what's the big deal? And he goes, well, maybe talk to my wife. Talk to her. And I go, okay, that's fine. At this point, this is my 4th phone call with her because I'm constantly like putting out fires in their marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, put her on. And he puts her on, and she goes, okay, I like the Hasbulla is good because he is a fake baby, and we should attack him, and like that's wrong to be a fake baby. DJ Khaled, Kanye West baby, I don't know. And I was like, well, I guess what's the disconnect? Why is that off limits? They're all public figures. Mm-hmm. It's totally inbounds. If they're putting their babies out in public, your baby's in public, what do we talk? What's your fear? Just tell me what your fear is.
The fear is they're not banging me. I'd love a big black man to take me.
Well, listen. Let's edit that out.
No, Caesar doesn't listen.
No, so what she actually said was, well, I'm scared that they have dangerous black fans.
Mm-hmm. Brazilians are known racists.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a stereotype about Brazilians.
Yeah. It is.
Sorry, Brazilians.
I don't know if it's a stereotype. I think it's a fact about Brazilians.
There you
go. Well, so I think that in Brazil they have first of all, they don't know American black people. Like, they don't have any American black friends, so they don't have a good example of like a cool American black person to be like, oh.
It's not a great excuse, though.
I mean, no, it's a different culture. They don't know any better. It's not an excuse. They don't know any better. It's ignorant.
But then the other black people would just be African black people.
That's what people say about.
What's wrong with them?
That's what people say about white people in the 60s. They go, they didn't know any better. They were spraying them with fucking fire hydrants. They didn't know any better.
So listen, Brazilian people aren't white. They're fucking discriminated against just the same as black people are in many places, and especially probably in Southern California. So
Brazilians?
Yeah, they look like Mexicans to everyone out here. So they have a hard time out here.
I'll say this real quick. Just in the service industry, Brazilians actually have a reputation for being some of the biggest pieces of shit. And they go to like 5-star hotels. Like the ones that can travel at least and have the money to do that. They are just like, they just treat everyone like dog shit. They don't tip. They they make you do things.
Where is this?
They don't really, they don't know their gypsies.
Where did you learn this from?
Being a waiter.
In the L.A.?
In D.C.
Fucking D.C.
Tourists. No tourists in D.C.
D.C., nobody cares. No, Brazilians don't go to D.C. You probably had 5 Brazilians come there.
Brazilians have a reputation, Joey. I'm telling you.
Well,
it's across the globe.
The Brazilian reputation that I'm familiar with is that they are the classiest, most friendliest, nicest people. They are so warm and welcoming. If you go into one of their dojos, which I've done a million times, I've spent a ton of time with Brazilians, and they have all unanimously been super kind and gracious.
They're not known for like jacking your wallet and credit cards on the beach.
Yeah.
No crime in Brazil.
I saw City.
Nothing to worry about in Brazil.
Richie watched City of God.
Exactly. Richie, you're
racist. You're racist.
I know.
You're more racist than Brazilians.
You're actually more racist than
you
Brazilians.
can't be racist against Brazilians.
Yeah, you can.
No,
Sure you can.
I'm actually a little
They're
racist
a
towards
country.
Brazilians.
They're not a race.
I am too.
I'm a little
bit.
racist because I'm like, why can't Brazilians just speak Spanish? Can we just cut the shit? Enough of the facade. What is Portuguese? Why? You're Mexican.
Devin has a million brilliant.
Speak Spanish.
This is my point that you can't be racist against Brazilians. There's no like
kidding
Brazilians down.
Devin
racism.
has a million of the dumbest opinions ever that are also brilliant and awesome. One of them is, how is there droughts? Why don't they put out buckets?
That is honestly, I'll fight somebody on that. I really don't understand how. Are we not collecting the water? There's a drought. It rained, so drought's over now.
Yeah.
End of drought.
And a drought.
Put out a fucking bucket.
And the drought.
Newsom.
Yeah.
That's why we're recalling you.
So, but his best one of these is, why don't Brazilians speak Spanish? And it's my favorite one by far. But anyways, the point of this is that, yes, there is a sect of Brazilian culture that, sure.
But there's black Brazilians. They're just not They're not.
It's like Anderson Silva is a black Brazilian.
Exactly. So like,
and he gets discriminated against by other Brazilians. And so, yeah, I'm not, listen.
There you go, racist Brazilians.
There you go.
They're very racist.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't, yeah. So they are, but I will say, I guess the reason I'm defending them is because I love the Super Babies family so much. And by the way, Caesar has never said one word at all about being scared of black people. His wife.
His wife.
Caesar knows.
His wife, on the other hand.
No,
honestly, here's the thing. I think all wives are afraid of black people.
Yes.
I think it's like just a wife thing.
Well, so see, I think
wives are racist.
Even black wives are like, yeah, but black people, they might. Who knows?
Yeah.
The possibilities.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
No kidding. Anyway, I met Freddie Gibbs.
Once you get a wife.
Oh, yeah. Freddie Gibbs.
Freddie fucking Gibbs. Gangster Gibbs.
Yeah, and
I was an embarrassment around old Freddie.
Thank you for admitting that.
I was. I mean, the video, I didn't even remember the video I took. I sent it to these guys the next day. Well, first off, it's pretty cool. He started talking to me on his own for a second, and he brought up his car, like his Corvette, and he's like, kept saying like Corvette 2022 Corvette.
By the way, this is the most Gary, Indiana thing ever.
It is.
To think that a Corvette is like a Lambo.
No, exactly. He might as well have brought me outside to show me his Hot Wheel. So he goes, you want to see it? And I was like, fucking, of course. You're Freddie Gibbs. I'll fucking look at anything. He could take me out front and be like, yeah, that's the Metro I took. I'd be like, oh, that's great. Is that the bus you took here? Amazing. So he brings me out front. I'm the only one he's bringing out. Once again, very special. I'm a special person in this story. And so then he walks across the street, gets in his Corvette, pulls it up right in front of me, and he revs the engine. I'm taking this video, and he gets out. He's a performer. He's very fucking funny. He gets out of the car, and he just looks at me like a pimp, just like, you see that shit? Just like stunting on me. Mm-hmm. And in the video, Joey, what's the thing I say? He walks in, and I go, that's pretty good. I go, that's a pretty good car. I turned into Larry David.
Yeah, Devin hates code switching so much.
I can't stand people that are fake.
Which is a compliment, but you turn into Larry David. You're like, I'm going to go Jewish instead of black.
No, not really. I always in the back of my mind, I'm like, how don't you fucking even think about being like, that shit's dope. Like, never.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's disgusting.
Like you're not
disgusting.
If you would have done that.
I'm much more the type of guy that goes, that's pretty good.
No. If you would have done like a cool voice to him that you haven't ever done before, then I probably would have been like, I can't talk to you for like a month.
I know.
The video actually, you appear to be a massive loser in the video,
and that's what's so lovable.
But exactly. It's endearing. I sent it to all my friends in South Dakota, and I go, because they love Devin, they watch the podcast, and they're like,
do they know Freddie Gibbs?
So actually, Brock didn't know Freddie
Of course
Gibbs.
He didn't. Of course. He thinks he's a fuck. He thinks he plays for the Warriors.
Broccoli.
And I attacked him on that. And some of the other guys knew who he was, the guys that like follow hip-hop and like know hip-hop. Brock, I attacked him on this. But so I guess he's probably way more famous in California than anywhere else.
Yeah, he's very famous now, but he's also like, it's weird. He's in this area where he's like still not widely known.
Not like Kanye famous.
Yeah, no.
He's kind of like a Schoolboy Q, where like Schoolboy Q in California is everybody knows him, but you know, if you go anywhere else, you'll find like a decent amount of people who don't know him.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, send it to them. And my whole pitch of it was watch this video of Devan interacting with Freddie Gibbs. And the reason it's so awesome is because he treats Freddie Gibbs exactly like how he treats a friend that shows up to get drunk at his mom's house with us.
Yes.
Right.
So he pulls his car around.
I'm authentic.
Yeah, no. And so Freddie Gibbs has this court. He's the coolest guy I've ever seen.
Our friend John acted like, yo, Devan being a cracker. Jesus Christ, Devan. John he moved to Atlanta to literally meet a black person. Okay? He acts like, oh my God, you didn't code switch like I would? Or what? What are you talking about, John?
No,
John pissed me off. Kidding. I love John. I miss him. But John acted like, Jesus, Devan's being such a cracker. I'm being myself. And you want to know why? Because it allowed me to hang out with him the rest of the night, because black people love when white people are just white.
They like authenticity.
They love when a white guy is just being how he is. And I treated Freddie Gibbs's Corvette like I treated, if Richie showed up in some rental.
Right,
and I would have been like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good, Richie.
Exactly.
I said the same thing. I didn't go, damn, motherfucker, this shit is dope as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't do some bullshit.
Right.
And he hung out with me. And then I smoked a blunt with Freddie. Gibbs.
Yeah.
Very cool moment for me.
That's awesome.
Add it to the list. Seth Rogen, Freddie Gibbs. Okay.
I mean, you've got a long list. You got the Disney. Maybe we'll put all the famous celeb stories on the Patreon.
Kind of crazy. Freddie Gibbs. So my friend Jack goes, hey, Freddie, you got weed? And he's walking away. He goes, does a dog shit in the motherfucking woods?
Which isn't even the same.
And we go, it's a bear. We're like, it's not dogs. I mean, I guess
Dogs
maybe.
They don't live in the woods.
We're like,
they could if you take them there. They would shit there, but they don't.
Yeah,
live
we
there.
were like, I think I said, we were like, I'm sure at some point a dog shit in the woods, but it's not. Well, Freddie, it's not the saying.
It's bears.
So then he's rolling the blunt, and then he drops his rolling papers. And I can't tell you the amount of anxiety this gave me because I'm white, where I was just like, well, but he dropped one of his goods. I have to tell him he dropped some of a product he bought, and I'm so cheap. I'm like, I mean, that's who wants to lose their rolling papers? That's who wants to have to go back and buy them. So he dropped them, and he's rolling the blunt. We're all having a good time. And then I literally the whole time I'm in cruise control because I'm in the back of my mind. I'm like, I got to tell him about he dropped a thing behind him.
It's bothering you the entire time.
Bothering me the whole time. Just the Larry David in me. I'm just like, but you paid for that. So I didn't want to just like reach down and get it because then you just look like you're a cuck bitch cuck. So then I was like, hey man, I think you dropped your rolling papers, and he goes, fuck those N-words. he goes. You
can say it on Peacock, but you can't say it on the podcast.
I only say it on NBC. But
if Don Buckmeyer isn't sponsoring it, no one gets it.
He immediately wrote it off. He acted like me telling him that was like I was in prison and I was like, dropped your soap, and like I was gonna like rape him or something. He wanted nothing to do with his lost goods.
That's a cool move. That's a guy that just lives in a zone of constant. I can't.
He has up rapper defenses at all times.
It was a rapper defense mechanism.
You'll never get Freddie Gibbs.
That's
on anything.
It's like when an athlete enters like a flow state. It's like a rapper does that for just being a cool guy.
Yeah, he was so fucking cool.
I drop something, it's gone forever.
The problem with me, man, is like. In life, I'm always like, I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't know how long any of this nonsense is going to go. When I meet people that I truly love, like Freddie Gibbs is legitimately my favorite rapper. Like for the last 2-3 years, I'm like, okay, Freddie Gibbs is like the Tim Dillon of comedy to me, where I'm like, okay, Tim Dillon's the only comic. Freddie Gibbs.
He's the Tim Dillon of rap.
Freddie Gibbs, only rapper.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, he's like I listened to Bandana so much. I kind of threw my girlfriend under the bus, and I didn't even realize I did. But when I met him, I was like, bro, I've listened to Bandana so much that like my girlfriend will be like, okay, Devin, I get you can't keep fucking playing the same song. Yeah. Like, I get it. Crime pays. And he like kind of laughed at her, but then like the next day I realized I was like, I just kind of acted like my girlfriend hates him for my...
He doesn't care. He realizes what you're trying to do.
Was she there?
Yeah, she was. Ida was there. Okay. Ida was there. Like right in front of her. Ida took a sip of his drink.
Oh, right,
I was like, "What do you drink?" I was like, "Is that a margarita?" And he was like, "You want some?" And he like gave it to Ida.
See, Conor needs to learn from Freddie. Conor McGregor needs to learn from Freddie Gibbs, because I bet you not at one moment did he ever do anything where it was like, "Oh, he wants to fuck."
No, not a single creepy thing. Well, Freddie Gibbs has had a crazy career, man. In 2015, he was falsely accused of rape by an Austrian woman who claimed that he raped her in a dream. And his whole freedom was up in the air. He was facing 10 fucking years.
I'm not following what you're saying.
He was on tour.
He was on tour in Austria. Yeah. And he performed, and some people went back to a room with some girl. Some people in his crew went back to the room with a girl, and the next day she claimed that she had a dream that Freddie Gibbs raped her.
Right, but so how did that become a charge?
No, she claimed.
How does a dream?
No, she claimed she was raped by Freddie Gibbs. Later on,
it was
never mind. It was a dream.
It was a dream.
Jesus,
and he was traumatized. He almost quit rap.
He was in international prison for like what, 8 months?
Yes, he was in an actual.
Oh god damn!
In Austria,
Joey. He was in an Austrian prison with fucking guys with swastikas for like 8 months, facing 10 years.
God damn!
In a different country, like some Emmett Till type shit, like some classic, you're right. White supremacy actually is not going anywhere. Like that is crazy. Yeah. So he came back, he recalibrated. And then he fucking found fucking Mad Lib and just started putting out the greatest music of all time. And but I had a couple fanboy moments with him where I was like really hammered at the end of the night, and I was around him alone. I was like, listen, man, I'm one of these guys that like pretends like I'm not impressed by who I'm around or like a fan. And I was like, bro, you're like my favorite rapper alive. Like everything. Like the last 3-4 years of your career has been just nothing but greatness. And he's like a cool guy. He's like not being like, oh man, I only like bitches to say that, whatever. And then I said like, well, I couldn't think of the album with Currency. Fetty. I couldn't think of Fetty. Yeah. I kept saying that album you did with the other dude.
Hey, you couldn't even remember Currency.
I wanted to say Consequence because earlier in the night we were talking about Consequence and GLC. Oh, okay. And I was so drunk I couldn't think of Currency. And he goes, Fetty? And I was like, yes, Fetty, like with new things on it. Like that shit is the shit. Like it should have been nominated, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, tell me about it. I know that shit. Like blah, blah. That's
a really good album.
It's really good. But no, he was cool. And that's honestly all. That's all I remember. But like he kept telling us to come to some other club. And
you said, no, I'm busy.
I said, listen, I said, sorry, pal, I got to record the Hate Watch pod tomorrow bright and early.
I need to rest
I need to rest for my pod.
And then Freddie asked to be on, and Devin went, I don't know. I mean, are you even in comedy?
No, listen,
what do you do?
Next time
what do you do?
Next time I see Freddie Gibbs, I'm going to ask him to do the podcast.
Oh, wow.
He won't. But he's also the type of guy that's like cool comedy. And he loves comedy. And if he likes me, he might do it.
If he like me?
If he like me,
dog.
If he like me, though. No, but for real, like it was one of the all-time nights of my life. It was just not like nothing was that special about it, but like the fact that like I got introduced to him.
It's very cool.
Dude, he turned around from the bar like fucking Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas, like meeting Henry.
Yeah.
Like Jack was like, you haven't met Freddie? He acted like, of course, my friend acts like, oh yeah, no, I've known him.
Devin might have met Freddie.
Like I was supposed to tell my friend, like, I've known him before you.
Yeah.
Like, we go way back.
Of course I know Freddie, yeah.
So he like leads me over to the bar, and he's just at the bar, and then Jack like, he's talking to people, Jack taps his shoulder, and he turns, and Jack's great at introductions, and he gave me this great introduction, and I had a cool black handshake with him, like a black handshake, and I nailed it. I nailed it, dude.
Well, how did it go? Do it on Richie.
It was like no, it was more like just fingers, like just like and then lean in. It was more like no. You fucking man,
Richie. Thank God you
messing up.
Richie's a white boy, bro.
I know how it goes. It's like this.
Yeah. That was a little violent, but yeah, it was like
but it
was kind of more like that. And I nailed
with Freddie. He's as strong as me.
Fucking nailed it, and then I jumped for joy. But yeah, no, it was great. I'm moving to Gary.
I will say, last thing on Freddie Gibbs is that I'm not like the biggest hip hop fan. There are a few things that make it on my radar for hip hop. And Freddie Gibbs is one of them. And for like the last, few years, he's one of my favorite guys.
He's the best. So when he's so funny. His Instagram is so fucking funny.
And that's part of why, like, I don't sit there and listen to his music at the gym or anything like that. But when I'm at home on the computer and I just want to watch some like good, funny, interesting shit, it's Freddie Gibbs. And I'll go on a rabbit hole. I watch all the interviews he does. And so when I saw that, in living in LA, you just become jaded to like celebrity stuff.
Exactly.
But seeing that, where Devan just drops this thing where Freddie Gibbs is revving the engine of some like Corvette that he just bought, there was a moment where I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It was almost cooler than like the Seth Rogen night.
I think it's way cool.
I mean, rappers are always cooler than
Freddie Gibbs
else.
is cooler than Seth Rogen. I think Seth Rogen would agree with that.
Well, you know what? Freddie Gibbs.
Seth Rogen would have been maybe a contender back, like if he just like released, Super Bad.
He's also like, I could get this feeling from him where he had this down to earth like person in him. He wasn't just being this like rapper stunting like an asshole. Like even when he brought me out to his car, it was in like a tongue-in-cheek way.
Right.
Like he knows that being a rapper is like you're kind of a wrestler.
Right.
And you do shit like that because it's like funny.
Yeah.
But like the whole night I got this vibe from him that I think because he made it later in life. Yeah. Everybody that makes it later in life is just more down to earth.
They have
more perspective.
Yeah.
They know it's like this is all a joke.
Yeah.
And so he was, once regular people, because the rap party was mostly the people in the bar, but some people out front, like you were just regular people and they were coming in and then they saw him and then they started pretending like they were a part of the rap party and like just to hang out with him.
That's why he appreciates you being like a authentic yourself person, because he must meet, I bet like 90% of the people that he meets, like of the white people that he meets, even if they don't mean to, they end up doing a little bit of like, "What's up, man? How you doing, bro?"
Exactly, dude. Yeah. I don't know how to explain this. I hate playing it cool. Like I hate it. I and I don't mean it. That sounds weird, but like my whole life, like if I don't know, if I was massively famous and somebody really loved me, I wouldn't expect them to not mention anything about it.
Right.
Like when I meet somebody that I love and that I know their catalog and like I really listen to you all the time, I don't know how to not try and be an authentic version of myself that's also like, but dude, I'm a fan. Like I love fans. Well, I love when somebody is like an authentic fan.
I think it's earnest. It's earnest. I think that probably comes from your overall belief just to never be unauthentic.
Yes. So when I'm in a moment like that, I'm like, I beat it. Like when I met him, when I did the handshake, let's do it again. I was like, I'm a big fan, man. Like, but I was cool. Like I was drunk and I was just like playing. I was like not nervous, but I was like,
I'm not going to be over the top.
I said I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Like, and I think most people would be like, that's sus. That's whatever. Like, you're not supposed to act like you fucking know who the guy is that you play in your car.
Right.
That makes you feel good when you're driving, high or like whatever. Like enough. I hate that shit. Like, I met a guy that I don't think I would meet.
I mean, that phenomenon extends beyond famous people in Los Angeles. It's the same thing where you go to like a work conference, for example. This happens to me, and you meet a client that is a company that if you become friends with, it might net your company another $100 million revenue per year if you hit it off with them. And that's why I'm terrible at these conferences, because when I meet these people, it's the exact same thing. And it stems from just like not being genuine. It grosses you out. It grosses me out.
Yeah.
In every situation, whether it's a famous person who could get you something from being a star in Hollywood, or it's just somebody that, you know, helps your job, whatever it is. It's like I have that exact same bone in my body where it's just like, I don't have the muscle to be a fake person with you at all. And it grosses me out.
I hate it, man. It kills me. The same. I mean, this is like a funny, you know, ridiculous comparison, but like, you know how Patrice used to say, like, when I lie, I feel like I die inside, like I'm dying, and the only thing I have is to not lie.
Yeah.
And so I guess like
be the truth. Be the truth.
Be the truth. All that shit. Right? It's like, obviously, this is a little different. I'm not exclaiming, you know, my feelings, but I am. I'm like, I don't know how to lie and be like, oh, I don't care that Freddie Gibbs is here. I'm gonna pretend it's totally normal in my life.
There's areas
I fucking did Postmates 2 years ago, bro. Like, I listen to you all the time.
Yeah.
Also, this is
cool.
The reason people are fake is because it's born from desperation. They're desperate. It's fear, and
it's coded fear. It's like it's a fake defense mechanism for fear. Like,
well, sure. So it's a fear that my genuine personality is not going to be enough to impress this person, and then it's a desperation of let me put on this act to try to win them over. And so when they try to do that, they think that, oh, this might work, but it's inevitably transparent.
And then they see you secretly on Instagram being like, I'm with Freddie Gibbs, or I'm with this famous person, and then they're like, oh.
Yeah.
At least if I come off immediately like, I'm with Freddie, fucking get like, I don't know. I don't really know how a famous person could be like off put by that, but a lot are.
So here's the thing, though. It's like the reason that people do that front is because they're like, I want Freddie Gibbs. I don't want him to be like, oh, is he going to be off put by this? I think if you're actually a real person, and it's like the whole thing of real recognize real, where it's like.
That's what I said. I said to him, when actually, when
I Joey all candidly be like, if it's real, recognize real.
When I met,
I honestly couldn't think of a white way to say it, but
when I shook Freddie Gibbs' hand, I was like, real, recognize real, dog. Like, I was like, that's it.
Gary.
I was like,
I would have just
Gary
gone, Gary.
I shook his hand. I was like, Gary, Indiana, bro.
Gary boy.
I was like, Gary, Indiana, bro. Gary, Indiana. What was that? Remember when we met Tyler, the Creator? I've met him actually multiple times, but I remember I met him with you.
I met him with you.
And he put his... we introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, dude, we were outside the Comedy Store, and you were like, hey, what's up, dude? I don't even think we said who we knew who he was.
No. Here's how it went down. I remember this, actually. This is one of the rare memories from this time period that I actually remember. So, same friend, Jack, who has the show.
Who, by the way, I love to death and is one of the greatest people at introductions to famous people. Like, he knows a lot of famous people, and he is incredible
feel really good.
at just, like, introducing a famous person to a janitor. He'll be like, yo, bro.
Best janitor in the building.
He'll be like, yo, Dave Chappelle, like, this is, like, the greatest, like, cleanup crew in the game. Like these people, people will fucking make your bed. They'll do, like, and then, like, Dave Chappelle will be like, yo, like, love, like.
No, so he did that to Devan in front of me, to Tyler, the Creator, and it was like Gerard Carmichael.
Yeah.
And then was it Michael Che?
No, I don't think Michael Che was there. It was like
there was one other semi-famous guy.
It was
there. I can't
like
remember.
Gerard, Tyler, Jack, and somebody else, but I don't remember who they were.
So at this point, we were just like going to the Comedy Store with Jack and our friends, like a decent, like every few weeks we would go with them. They were there all the time, but we'd be getting drunk, and they're like, "Oh, you want to come with? Well, let's do it." So we go, and I have no idea who's going to be at the Comedy Store, and you never know. So, it's like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and fucking Louis C.K. are there. But on this, and you don't talk to them, but on this night, we get out of the Uber, and it's we're with Jack. He doesn't say anything. We just get out of the Uber, and suddenly it's just like
it's just Gerard, Tyler the Creator, and
whoever it was, and they're just in the friend circle, like in the same way that like we go to a bar, we happen to know a couple of people, like you form a circle.
And I remember Tyler was very very endearing because he was like me in a way, like extremely authentically like just a fan. And he was just raving about Kanye and Kanye's production, and he was like getting into it on this like in-depth level, like that album, like the way that Kanye does this and does that, and like he was like an excited kid, and that was the moment that I was like, oh, this guy's actually an artist. Like Tyler's not just like a Yonkers, like like fucking
he's a composer.
Shock value guy. The guy's like a composer. He really fucking loves this.
Yeah.
He was a student, and the way he was talking about Kanye was very endearing in that circle. And so then,
by the way, the name of this podcast is Name Drop.
Name Drop. You did it. That's it.
Yeah.
You name dropped the podcast. You fucking name dropper.
So. Yeah, we get out of the Uber. We go there now. Suddenly, and at this point in time, I'm doing like pills and I'm drinking.
You
heavily.
had Valium on you, yeah. Like I think we probably offered Tyler, like, do you want to get high?
Want to go blow some Valium?
We were like, hey, bro, do you want to go snort some Valium? You and I were like fucking like characters from the town, just showing up to the Comedy Store. Like we were like in Place Beyond the Pines. Like, hey,
there's real white people left in Los Angeles.
When I saw Tyler, I was like, you got my oxys? Yes. You coming to the party? Yes.
But no, yeah. Also at this time, I had like a permanent sweat.
Yes. You had the meat sweats.
I think we
got Korean barbecue before. We probably had the meat. We had the meat sweats.
I had the meat.
We smelled like just smoke.
There was an 8-month period of time, and I was chain smoking cigarettes, and I just constantly had like a slight sweat.
Yeah, Joey just smelled like a campfire for like 2 years.
No, yeah, it's like. So
when we get introduced to Tyler, Tyler the Creator goes, "Oh, cool, nice to meet you, bro," and he puts his pinky out like this, like
here's what happened.
He goes, "Nice to meet you," and he puts.
So we're standing in this circle, and I realize, that's Tyler the Creator, that's Gerard Carmichael, and then
this other guy.
There's, Biggie Smalls' manager. I can't remember.
It was Little C's was there. Whatever.
No, it wasn't a famous guy. It was Tyler's security guy.
Yeah, it was like just a guy.
And he looked like the villain from Friday.
Debo?
Yeah.
His neck was like wider than his head.
Yeah, he had like no neck.
He had no neck.
Yeah.
And like he had a missing eye. And
yeah.
And he was just like, you could tell, like he was just on. It was like
he looked like a black boulder.
No, exactly.
He was just a rock. The man was just a circular rock.
It was like if Compton had a Mossad.
Yeah.
He had like earpieces in, and he had
exactly.
Like
he was on
night vision goggles.
He was on high alert, like he was clearly a security guy, but he also looked like he killed 10 to 15 people.
Yes.
But so anyways, we get into the circle, and it was just like an odd situation where, and I'm probably like still like 2 years from being into LA, and so I'm just sort of just like, and I still don't care. I probably would have the exact same reaction today, but it's like, okay, if you're in my circle of friends, I'm going to introduce myself to you. I enter the circle, and I just instantly, I think I started with the fucking psycho security guard.
Yeah.
He had like murder in his eyes, and I just go like, "Hey man, nice to meet you." And he just gave me a look like, "Am I gonna have to kill you tonight?" And I go, "Not." And he looks, "No, I'm not gonna have to." All right, nice. And then Gerard, I shook his hand, and he was just like, "All right, man." Like, I'm
Gerard's just too cool for school. He's just looking down.
Yeah. And then
he thinks he's charming white people at all times.
Might have been 2 other people in that circle, and then I go to Tyler the Creator, and I just go like, "Nice to meet you, man." And he just looks at me, and he's looking right at, like, just staring.
Yeah, he like made it really weird.
And I go, I'm like, "Oh, No handshake, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he just keeps looking at me, like gazing into my eyes.
Yeah.
And then he finally goes,
Nice to meet you, bro.
puts his pinky up into my face.
Yeah, puts his pinky out. Literally a pinky.
He slowly puts his pinky
and
up.
then Joey goes, all right. And then just, all right, brother. And like,
did like a pinky swear?
They did a pinky like handshake.
It was a pinky promise of some kind. And then I at that point, I started drinking heavily, and then I forget. Honestly, I don't
remember any of the rest of that night, but I just remember meeting him with you and the pinky thing. I can't remember if he did the pinky thing to me. I think he did. I think we both just laughed like really hard, like while we did it. Like, okay. Like,
I just did it like,
sure.
I guess this is L.A. I guess this is. I guess I thought maybe this is like a Pizzagate initiation.
True. And then I did his comedy show later on.
Yes.
And he called me the N-word because he thought I was cool.
Listen, guys.
And it all comes full
It's
circle.
in a video on YouTube. Tyler, the creator, calls me the N-word. He laughed
on Patreon.
He laughed at a joke very hard, and he goes, "You a N-word, you a N-word, ha 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 ha," and you could audibly hear it's him. And backstage, he was trying to like fuck with everybody on the show. He was on his phone, and he would just be like, "Lionel, what? You fucked him in the butt? Wait, Lionel, you fucked him in the butt, bro? Like what? Dude, you can't just fuck people in the butt."
Wow.
Like
Tyler's a
walking right
jokester.
by us, and we were, I would shake my head like, "Tyler, the creator, classic. That's classic." I go, "That's classic when you're in this biz."
Showbiz.
What are you going to do? And then I performed to him and all of Odd Future. And it was an interesting night. Because it also wasn't a packed venue. It was like, it was kind of like just Odd Future and like a couple women. Like strewn about this theater. Interesting times living in LA, folks. You have a lot of weird experiences. And nobody really does anything for you.
It's the city of
every time in LA, you check the camera. Oh, don't move it.
No, I'll put it right back. But let me just do this.
All right, you're okay. Now we have. Now what's going on now?
He's showing the skyline.
City. Look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
It's pretty good. Is it still recording? Yeah. What's the?
Joey had a crazy look in his eyes just now.
What's the minute? 51:43. All right, that's what we got here.
Right.
Very good. I think we're all in it. Very good. Joey just starts looking at porn. Joey's just like, "Let me just take your phone to the bathroom real quick." We hear him jerking off.
We're like talking.
That's
about
in the episode.
Yeah. Like, so you met Freddie Gibbs? It's like,
I'm jacking up to Freddie Gibbs in this. Freddie Gibbs.
But yeah, man. LA is weird, man. My whole life, growing up here, it's like I've met a lot of famous people, and I gotta tell you, when you're not doing great, every time you meet one of them, you just want to be like, "Hey, it's great to meet you. Can I have a job? Can I hold your bags?
Yeah.
I'll do anything. You're famous." I used to want to when I used to write scripts. I used to want to be like, "How do I get this out there?" I would be like, "Well, why don't I just go to like Melrose and like find famous people and just drop my script in front of them? Be like, 'Oh my God, I just dropped my script.'
You slip them the script.
I'm sorry, oh my God, it's pretty funny though, this script. Does anyone want to read it? Like, I'm outside of Earth Cafe.
A lot of good jokes. I'm not going to pick it up yet. A lot of good jokes.
A lot of good jokes in it. I'm not going to pick it up. If anyone else wants to pick it up, that's fine. Hasn't been registered yet with the trademark WGA whatever.
No, the city's filled with desperation.
It just reeks of desperation.
And losers.
Travis Bickle got his wish recently. New York had a rain come that washed away all the fucking dirt and the junkies.
Very good.
There's a
big flood. Yeah,
there's a flood in Manhattan. It's like Venice.
I caught the
big flood.
No, it's crazy.
And they still think it's the greatest city on earth. People are fucking riding around on trash can tops.
What neighborhoods were flooded?
Manhattan.
Oh, jeez.
I think Manhattan's like really fucked up by it, right? What's going on? What happened?
I don't know. I
Just
saw
big flood.
The rain was really bad.
A lot of bad rain.
And then
rain.
And then the rain went down the stairs. It went down the stairs into the subway.
In and it crept up.
Interesting. Richie really understands.
It goes in and it
things.
creeps up.
Yeah, so the rain...
I know someone who was in a train car, and it was like 3 feet of water.
Christ.
What do you study the aqueducts over there?
The levee's broke in Manhattan.
So the water came into the fucking...
in the train car, and people were like bashing the windows trying to get out, but then the train conductor was like, don't do that because if the power comes back on, the train's moving and you're dying.
Because they would jump out of the train?
Well, there's not enough space in between the wall and the train. Like, you'd be like up against the wall, and the train would be moving at like however fast it goes.
Well, surprising that would happen in a city where everyone rides a cattle car around.
Yeah, tries a what?
A cattle car.
What is that?
The Nazis put Jews on.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
Everyone in New York actually...
Richie, you should have known that.
Yeah, you should have known that. I thought you were on one. What was that? Only fucking 80 years ago?
I should have known
I don't know
that. Richie, you definitely should have known
all
that.
Jewish...
Richie doesn't know what a cattle car is?
Richie, that's
what
weird.
An embarrassing
it sounded
Jew.
like for
that
cows.
You're
an embarrassment
It sounded
to Jews.
like for cows.
They called them cattle cars.
That's why.
Because they treated you Jews like cows.
So I don't know one Jew thing. You know all the Lebanese things? You know all the South Dakota things?
No, but I don't ever
Whatever
act
your
like...
heritage is,
I do
French
know.
things.
Yeah, I
I
know
don't
it
ever
all.
act like I care about
This is
Lebanese
ridiculous. Stop
people. You act like you're real
me 'cause you have
Jewish.
nothing to talk about.
You
enough.
act all Jewish
No,
sometimes.
I don't.
You act pretty Jewish.
You act really
you make
Jewish sometimes,
blatantly
dude.
anti-Semitic jokes, and every once in a while I go like, "Hey, chill out a little bit," and you go, "Well, you're acting all Jewish now," which is like a double down on being anti-Semitic because you feel uncomfortable now.
What is it? What is an anti-Semitic?
Well, listen, I don't remember
because I don't care enough because I'm not.
You don't remember
I'm not
that?
when the big Jew you're paying me as, remember? I don't remember. I don't care that much. But
Well, if you're gonna
I get you
accuse-
feeling it's my gut. I'm not going to be inauthentic.
He didn't know what a cattle car was.
If you're gonna accuse
and now he's
him-
acting like he has the brain of a cow. No memory whatsoever. We need Anton Chigurh to come and fucking fix you up. I love every episode now has a.
I'm going to quit this podcast. I don't even want to do this anymore.
Oh, by the way,
I just sit here. I'm like, yeah, whatever, very funny, and then I get attacked.
I
This
didn't
podcast
attack
sucks.
you. We just said you
I
weren't.
hate doing this.
We just said you weren't a Jew.
This sucks. For
you're
me.
a bad Jew.
You're a bad Jew. We said.
Yeah, great. Whatever.
Now, Richie's
Right.
actually a good Jew. Richie, what I will say is, listen, the guy's not a historian.
Yeah,
True.
well, like I don't care about
Guilty as
I don't care
charged.
about Judaism at all. You'll like turn to me and ask me like, "Is this a Jewish thing?" And I'll be like, "If I know about it, I'll tell
Well,
you."
no,
I gotta say-
I'm not a practicing Jew.
I gotta say, it was kind of surprising you didn't know what a cattle car was.
That was odd.
I
but
thought
what-
that's
what-
a very
my-
common term.
So let me jump in and
It is.
defend
It
Richie.
is. When you say it now, I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is. It slipped my mind.
So
right.
I'm actually
Yeah.
ashamed of myself.
All right,
as a-
relax. Don't quit the
Well, I'm an
podcast.
honor-
Relax, you
honorary.
jumped down my throat.
Nobody
but
actually
but
jumped
be
down your
cool-
throat.
but
This
be
is
cool over
wrestling.
it.
We're doing a joke here.
You know.
No,
Relax.
you should have known that as a Jew, but you actually are still a good Jew, and here's why.
The Jew
Here's
thing
why.
is weird. At any moment, I can't do anything. You say Jew, can't get offended.
Well,
that's
I'm
not,
Jewish.
That's not cool. No, you're not.
Yes, I am. My dad's Jewish.
No, you're not.
You're
My
not.
dad's
Enough.
Jewish.
No, you're not
So, Richie,
Jewish.
let me-
Why am I not
no,
Jewish?
I'm saying
I want
at
to know.
any point in time, I got. It's not just you guys. I got other people.
Who's coming at you?
Dude, anywhere you go as a Jew, this is already. It's going to get attacked in the 10 comments we get.
Well, you better get used to it.
Richie's
I'm gonna
proving that he's
quit.
a
I don't
Jew
have
right
to get
now.
used
Why
to
are
this
you gonna
Reaction.
quit? What is going on with you?
I might quit.
Why do you keep saying you're gonna quit?
I don't know,
by the way-
it's the only move I got.
This big,
I don't know what
this
you mean.
big reaction, very Jewish.
Exactly.
No, no. So
it's
what
all I got. No, but it's not you guys specifically.
He can't stand the
it's
two people that comment.
No, it's everywhere I go. There's somebody's always trying to. It's like the only thing left that anyone who's a fucking loser could use because they can't make fun of a black person. You know, everyone's way too afraid.
I happen to agree with all this.
Way too. You're not going to make fun of anyone else. You're a pussy. So
Yeah,
you
true.
go at the lowest hanging fruit. We're the lowest hanging fruit now. It's
Jews
annoying.
are-
It's annoying.
It's now
a little
popular.
annoying.
And listen,
it's a little
I-
annoying. That's all I'm saying.
So listen,
Yeah.
and I don't want to sound like I'm overly defending Richie because I listen. I love Richie, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying this for Richie. I have seen the exact same thing where it's now popular for people to.
yeah.
It's acceptable for people liberals to hate Jews.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. I see it from our. I see it from our
I'm
Hollywood.
I'm a liberal.
I see it from our Hollywood friends.
Listen, we're all liberals.
Oh, what do you see from the What are you talking about? Let's
No,
get
like
into
our
this.
Hollywood friends, like, God forbid you made a wrong comment, they'll jump down your throat, like, even if it's true, like, about a different culture.
But then they're allowed to attack you as a Jew.
Like Jews and we somehow got lumped in with disgusting piece of shit Armenians.
What a turn.
It's sickening.
Wow, what a turn. Richie's like all sanctimonious. And he calls it a culture disgusting scumbag.
You found the joke. I honestly didn't even know what Armenians were until I moved to LA. So.
Honestly, most people not from California have any clue what an Armenian is.
I had never met or
Never
heard of
heard.
an Armenian.
I grew up around them, and I was just yelling at. I thought they were Jews. I kept being like, "Fucking Jews!"
Like, once I found out they were Jews,
I found out that they were like Jews without like praying, and I was like, "Oh, bro, that's."
I'll also say, quick little side note: I hate getting bunched in with Israelis. Because Israelis are
really
kind
militant.
of pieces of shit.
They're really militant.
Israelis I've met are kind of like not good people. they do shady, shitty things.
They're very business.
I don't want to get into it, but
so now you're pissing me off.
Yeah, Joey.
I'm a great defender
is a big defender of Israel.
You're right, but my ideal.
So honestly, Richie, though, what do Jews? What? If you don't care about Israel, then what are you, like a Lone Ranger Jew?
No, all I care about is the fact that I have to deal with we're a low hanging fruit punchline at this point. It's been going on since I was a kid. You know,
it's going on since South Park
and Borat, mostly Borat, but like seriously, it's just like it's honestly not you guys as much. But it's just like it goes on every single time it's in podcasting, especially.
You're gonna quit the pod.
I'm not gonna quit the podcast. Relax.
Is that a bit?
Maybe not.
Well, you know what?
No, it's not. But in podcast,
go ahead, leave, migrate, take the big walk.
No, but in podcasting, especially, it's kind of getting really lame. And then I have to talk to people. And the lame, you don't understand. I have to see it from people who are not funny at all.
Who are you dealing with?
I'm not going to name.
Now that we're not in comedy anymore, like what
names. Do you? No, in comedy it's actually better because they're so liberal in comedy. Comedians don't actually say anything. Well, some do, but very rare. But like the lame ass like comics that we'd see in like the east side of LA, they're not making.
No, they would never. They're
not making Jew jokes. But no, I'm just saying, like, anyone who listens
Comedy
to podcasts...
Store people do.
Anyone, even podcasts I like. I'm not even shitting on the podcast by naming them, but, like, Cumtown fan, Matt and Shane fan, that's, like, all they got. They're too scared to make any other jokes.
They love making Jew jokes.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Let me clarify my thoughts on this whole thing. I don't want to look bad on this. Let me clarify my thoughts on the whole thing.
I'm Jewish, so I actually am also outraged.
And by the way, yeah, Devin's Jewish and Rich is Jewish, and I'm actually Jewish.
I've always been annoyed by Jews and their rules because, like, why am I not Jewish if my dad is Jewish? Don't I have Jew blood in me? I don't get it. How does
your
that
dad
work?
is Jewish?
Yes, my dad, my mom, my grandma's Jewish.
So
my dad is
your
Jewish.
Dad half Jewish?
Yeah, my dad's my grandfather on my dad's side wasn't Jewish. He was Italian.
So that's not Jewish. Yeah, that's
but my grandmother was.
Yeah, that's not Jewish.
Why?
Did your dad at any point ever practice Judaism?
No.
So then no.
Well, why do you have to practice it?
It's a cultural thing.
But it's also a race.
No, it is.
No, the reason you're not is...
It's become cultural.
Look at my nose from the side. I'm a fucking Jew.
The reason Devin's not Jewish has nothing to do with your mom. It has to do with the fact that you're only a quarter Jewish. That's like, I'm technically a quarter Irish. No one gives a shit if you're a quarter.
Who's Irish in your family?
That's too low.
You have a grandparent that's fully Irish?
On both sides of my family, in the like grandparent... great-grandparent region. They converted. Nobody cares about this, but I'll tell you because you asked.
Say whatever you are based in... If anyone's getting upset at anything you're saying,
you don't claim a quarter.
Say you are that.
No,
you claim anything.
Devin uses this as a great defense. Anytime he's attacked for any situation...
Nonsense.
You know, if he says something...
politics are nonsense, so say you're anything.
Devin's a dirty mutt, so anytime somebody... gets on him about something that he said. If it was about Syrians, hey, Devin goes, I'm a Syrian.
I got some.
If it's about Jew stuff, I'm a Jew. Sorry, guys.
Listen, I hate to be the big Hollywood liberal, but not everybody has that luxury.
the luxury
black
of being
people,
a dirty
Latinos
LA
are
mutt.
dirty Jew.
Everybody has the luxury of lying, and that's what these
A
people in
black person
Hollywood
cannot
are.
lie about being black.
Right, and that's why,
That's
and
not
that's
the luxury
why
of
they,
lying.
black also.
and that's why. And listen, I'm sorry about black people, but that's why they have it rough because they can't lie.
Right. I can't. Everybody knows I'm Jewish. I can't lie about being Jewish.
How does everyone know you're Jewish? You could easily be Armenian.
Yeah,
Yeah, that helps.
Even more hated than the Jews.
Richie, look at me.
I'm
Richie.
only a hated person.
Richie, look right at me. Look right at me. I don't know if I don't think
I don't see Jew in
No,
you.
some people have actually thought I'm Latino, which is really weird.
Yeah, you're
Like,
not
you
an
look like
obvious.
you
Yeah,
could be
some
like
people-
Argentinian.
Yeah,
I
exactly. Some
could see
people thought I'm like South
Argentinian. Yeah,
American.
yeah.
I've been considered racially ambiguous, but it's usually a hated group of people. I normally fall
Every
into a
group's
hated
hated.
group.
What's one group in the world that's not hated? They're all hated by
Yeah, but I'm talking
somebody.
about
Somebody hates everybody.
I'm talking in places that matter, in cities, not like fucking black people
No,
hated in
Jews-
Appalachia.
Yeah, Jews have it rough in major cities.
Well, no, Jews.
As far as running into lame ass punchlines with stupid people when
you
you're
gotta
out,
deal with a punchline
It's
while
so-
you fucking live in the fucking 50th
Who
floor
cares?
in a
Who cares?
penthouse.
I don't. Yeah,
God forbid you hear the echo of a punchline from your fucking
I'm
penthouse.
a poor Jew. I am a poor Jew. I don't have those penthouse
A
luxuries.
poor Jew.
I wish I had.
Well,
if I was in a
that's-
penthouse, I'd take
Jesus,
it.
that's like being a fucking non-athletic black person, a poor Jew.
Yeah, and they,
it's
and
like
they
a
exist.
7-foot tall guy that can't play
Just
basketball.
can't
Yeah.
fucking put it
Exactly.
in the rim. Put it in the hole,
more
Jamal.
more stereotypes that I have to deal with. You don't know how hard I got
Man,
it.
you guys have been giving
Another
Richie hell on the
stereotype.
podcast in the comments. Okay, guys, cut it out. Okay, he's not a Jew.
I'm not talking about the comments.
Guys, you got it all wrong. He's not.
Got it all wrong. He's Puerto Rican.
I'm not talking about the 10 people that comment. The one.
No, there's this one
What?
maniac that
That's not what I'm talking about. He didn't even make it Jewish.
he
That
never
guy-
even says he hated
He just
RAV4s more than
he just
Jews.
hates
He's gonna make it Jewish now.
He'll
No,
make it.
yeah,
They're gonna make
yeah,
it
he
really
definitely will
Jewish
now.
now.
He just hates me.
You just set yourself up for a world of hurt, pal.
I know, which is funny because you actually got me better than making a Jew joke. You just hated me for me, just at my core, which was a much better move. If you make it Jewish now, you're actually a lame-o.
Well, here's
then
the
you're
thing.
just taking their cue,
Here's the thing.
which makes you unoriginal.
The thing is that we're all dealing with the very, very early beginnings of podcast fans, where podcast fans are psychopaths, and so they always find one person where they go, "That's get him on."
That's not what I'm talking about.
By the way, I've been in a war. I've been in a war.
Joey's been at war with a podcast
Right.
fan.
I'm
Let
not-
me read some of these comments.
That is
Richie,
kinda what you're
finish
talking
your
about.
Jew stuff.
That's why
See, this is
why would
what-
you give a shit about Jews all of a sudden if it wasn't for these fucking
I don't-
anti-Jew comments?
I don't
that we
give a
got?
shit about Jews in general. I don't.
And by
I'm
the
not a
way, I'm against a
practicing
lot of
Jew.
the stuff
I'm
Israel
saying-
does in Palestine. I just think they get a bad rap because a lot of the super far left guys say that Palestine's completely innocent.
Right.
Israel does a ton of bad stuff. I just wanted to clarify that because
Yeah.
I mentioned something
No,
earlier. Go on.
Israel's full of.
Go on with
I
your
heard
Jew
Israel's
stuff.
full of Jews.
Whatever. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's a low hanging fruit punchline. It's almost
You're
like
right.
it's like hack.
Yeah, of course it's hack.
It's
And I'm not talking about
always
comment-
been an
I'm not talking
internet
about comments.
punchline.
I'm talking about podcast fans that I meet in person, and I'm talking about in general when you're doing a show.
Who have you met
like,
in person?
I'm not going to name them because they already got upset about it. But that's not the point.
Honestly, for a second, I thought Richie was like, "I'm not going to name those fucking Jews."
No, but just in general, and I see it in general, and then I also I said it would be like any hack joke. It just in this case, it happens to be like sort of. It's always directed at me because I am Jewish, so I'm just like, oh my god, enough.
Well,
Like,
Richie,
every time it's just like you don't know what to
boring.
say,
I get it,
so
it's
you
boring.
turn and go Jew joke. You would never do that with any other race or culture ever.
Richie,
Yeah.
I love you.
It would be tactful. It would be
I think
thought
you're
out.
a beautiful
It's not
Jewish
tactful and
man.
it's not thought out. And
I
that's
think
what's
you're a
annoying.
I get
stunning,
it.
beautiful Jew.
I get it. It's easy.
And if
And
I-
fucking piece of shit Jews don't deserve tact. Maybe
easy.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I get it. It's easy.
But let me go into my war that I'm having.
What?
Okay,
Joey's been at war.
Joey's
for a
been
while
at
now.
war in the
I gotta go
comments.
pee real quick. But
So good. I want Devan out of here for this because I'm going to trash him. Stay in there. Yeah, false start.
not wrong.
I hope you're taking a dump because I want to drag you through the mud. So on False Argument, there was an episode called False Argument.
Yeah.
And on the episode, Devan starts going in on, he hates, I think, restaurants that require vaccination statuses, right? And, you know, it was also just like in general, like, you know, I don't want to do masks. I think we need to stop this. What's the point of the vax and the mask stuff? I don't want to put words in his mouth because, frankly, I don't remember.
Right.
But so what I said on the thing was, first of all, if somebody, hypothetical situation, which Devan calls a false argument, classic line by Devan. I said, hypothetical, if I am in a place with a stranger and I happen to find out that they're at risk of COVID and they might die and they're unvaxxed, yes, I will avoid getting within 6 feet of them.
Here's where I'm going to stop you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
The discrepancy there, to me, is that you added an extra detail. It was simply about them not being vaxxed. That's what we were talking about. It wasn't this extra, like, they're at risk and all this other stuff. If they're at a bar and they're at risk, they shouldn't be at a bar if you're that much at risk. They're just not vaxxed.
So I'm happy to stay on that, too. So if somebody's unvaccinated and let's say that there is a 50% chance that they're at risk, or, you know, let's call it a 50-50, I would rather avoid them. And I'll stand by that. If it's at no cost to me, which is what I was saying, or like it's not going to affect my night, if I could walk away, then I certainly would do that, and I still say that. Well, so go on.
Here's another thing I'll say. I think the main crux of the argument had to do with, do you care about whether you know or not is not even really relevant to me. It's more about, like, do you care if you kind of kill that person or not?
Yeah, I do. So I do, yeah.
And that was the big crux. And where I kind of also sort of sided with Devan was,
you'll never know if you killed that person.
Well, you won't know. That's the huge
it's a
point.
false argument, but it's another hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical.
If you could find out.
If you could find out. But also, I'm like, well, at this point, if you're not getting vaxxed, like, go fuck yourself.
So I can't do that quite yet. I'm not quite ready to.
Or you took the risk, and you ended up in a bar.
If you're going
I don't know how I gave it to you.
No, and listen, I am totally in favor of somebody taking the risk.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, had I been made aware, I would take a step back to lower the chances of them dying. To lower the risk that they've decided to take, I will do that, to be magnanimous, because it's at no cost to me.
The 0.0013 chance
of healthy people. But so people that are at risk.
How many times are you at the bar hanging out with fat bastards?
Every night.
I never.
There's usually some obese piece of shit at every bar you go to.
What are you talking about?
Am I supposed to stop them from eating?
Am I 70% of the country is fat.
Am I supposed to stop that person?
Am
I supposed to stop that? Am I supposed to give a shit later on that night when that fat person eats a fucking handle of M&Ms and has a cheeseburger and fucking a whole meal?
Are you supposed to care that they're eating?
Am I supposed to be like, oh my god, you're gonna die? I might be killing you by co-signing you eating this meal.
No. The question is, if you're around a very fat person who is like wheezing, unvaxxed.
I mean,
would you step away?
Who is this gigantic?
I'd step away
fat,
because I don't want to get sick.
80% of the country is fat as fuck, or 70%.
I'll say this: I have a tough time, like, really, like, if I hear, I'll be like, "Oh, that's sad. This X person died." If I don't actually know you, I have a really hard time, like, kind of.
No. So I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and mourn in the same way that I would mourn if a friend died.
Do you stop?
But if I could avoid killing them with no effort. This is an uncontroversial take.
I don't know if I'd feel anything.
You're acting like you would know.
I'm not asking you to be sad at their death. I'm saying without having to do anything except for stepping away.
Yeah, but the flip side is,
you know how many times I've been at a bar?
You don't do something, you don't change your behavior, and you do kill them. So then, do you feel bad? And I'm saying, I don't think I do. I don't know you. You didn't get vaxxed.
No. It's like watching a drunk person leave a bar and get in a car. You don't go like, "Don't drive, guy. I don't know."
No, because
it's every man for themselves out there. I don't fucking know.
No, because in the first situation, you're not required to take any action. There is no active requirement from you. It's literally just not being by them. In a situation where you're trying to stop a drunkard from getting into a car, that's a physical altercation. That's a much different situation. So what I'm talking about, Richie, is yes, an action could kill somebody, and a dissimilar act could end up killing them as well. I'm talking about a specific situation where you could prevent this from happening. So it's a very uncontroversial point, right? I'm saying if it's at no cost to me, I would avoid infecting somebody with a virus if they're fat or old, right? It's simply anyone who disagrees with that is now an insane person.
I kind of want to disagree. I don't know why.
It's because I'm coming in hot and I'm coming in super confident, and you want to argue because it's fun. But it's an indefensible point. So, anyways, I make this comment on the thing, and Devan's fans, he's got a lot of really cool fans, and some of them track me down on Instagram, the really cool ones.
Yeah.
And I deny the ones that are bad, but the good ones I accept, and they send me nice messages, and they're cool as hell.
Yeah.
And there's a group of them who have Instagram handles that are like, Cuckmaster 420. And you just, listen, I bet that guy's kind of funny sometimes,
right.
But I can't accept him just because... It's like, all right, I have a serious job, and I don't know if this guy's going to hunt me or what. So I deny those guys. But then you find out in the comments they turn up. And what they don't realize is I live for arguing. Yeah. I love it. I can't wait for it. So here's what happens. Here's what happens. First comment, it's a Japanese guy named Akiko Ito. And I promise you he's a white guy who's just
he just loves
loser.
Anime.
He's an anime guy. He's got a foxtail butt plug in his ass. He's jogging around like a fucking bunny. He's doing bunny hands in his house and hopping around on his webcam. So Akiko goes, this is the first time I've heard two grown men defend the police state. He's talking about you, Richie, by the way. You're backpedaling, but you must have said something.
Richie was on your side at the beginning.
I was
a lone ranger.
No, the part where it's different.
You were a lone ranger. By the way,
you were mad about the Vax card, and I was defending a private business's right to do it or not do it.
So that was my whole thing, too.
I think it's bullshit.
So anyways, by the way, Devan is... He's got this ability to argue about anything, even if he's completely clueless about it. And I'm not saying he was on this, but in anything where he's able to deliver lines, like he'll give you like an attack, and then he'll give you a line, but it's delivered with such confidence that you start going like, oh my God, like...
Am I wrong about
this? How was that so confident? It shakes you.
Yeah. It's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But you're so good at it. And I've never seen anyone as good at it.
Devan used to always deliver this line with like such confidence. We'd always argue about The Wire and The Sopranos. Now that came to an end when
that's a slam dunk. I'm talking about
that
one. That's an easy one. I'm talking about ones where he doesn't even know.
Slow down. I actually ended up agreeing with Devan later on a completely different point than the one I'm about to make. But the one I would like hear it, and I like didn't have a response, and then I figured out a response later. But he'd always be like, "The Sopranos is more cinematic," and then I'd be like, That's true, but what does that matter?
It's a non-statement, but he's doing it so confidently.
That just means it's more like a movie. That doesn't make anything better or worse than anything else.
It does. I'll fight you right now.
Movies are great.
I'll fight you right now.
Movies are great. But like then I could be like, The Wire's more theatrical. Does that make it better or worse?
No, because the theater sucks. And cinema is better than theater.
Yeah, but
here we go again.
Here we go again, folks.
Undefeated.
No, but I would agree with that, but a bunch of people wouldn't. They'd be like, no, theater's an incredible art form. Dialogue's better. It's better for the actors.
Devin
the
would
live
scream
action.
something insane about that.
It's more powerful. The emotions behind it. It's less contrived.
More people that are less charismatic than others think theater is better than cinema.
Right, whatever. My point is. I want
to let this go, but we're getting Let me just finish these comments real quick. So Keiko comes in.
All right.
It's the first time I've ever heard two grown men defend the police state. I come in and listen, man. He doesn't know that I've been just waiting. I've been studying. I've been doing research. Because I woke up the next day and I go, what was that argument? Was I right? This is how my mouth. I go, let me do the. Let me dig into the case law on that. So I go. So he goes. First time I've heard two grown men argue about defend the police state. I go, how's a private business the state? I clearly said I was against any government mandate that affects freedom. Also, how have you never heard of people defending the police state? They're everywhere. I mean, that's the entire CNN.
Blue Lives Matter. Or CNN, not even,
They're all defending this so-called police state where, the government's Fauci and all that.
Yeah, so you haven't heard of it is ridiculous.
Of course. So
you cannot agree with it, but to not hear about it.
I've never heard about it. What are you? You're living, I guess,
in a bubble.
Your only access
must be in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
You might tail in your ass.
You're masturbating to octopus porn.
You're obsessed with hentai all day.
Yeah, so I say that to him, and he goes, you literally want to ask your friends every 8 months, show me your papers. And now it's getting into things where he's just making stuff up. I don't know what that even means, and I wish that he had a better argument. But it gets better later. And he goes, getting the vaccine is a decision people make with their doctor and doesn't concern you. You're acting like the Gestapo. So I say, when did I ever say anything about checking my friends for 8 months? I literally never said. I don't know what he's talking about. I go, give me a timestamp. I'm confused. What I said is that if you have a private business, you should have the freedom to make your own rules about who enters. Current freedom to do that is also what allows people to enforce the no shirt, no shoes, no service policy, which, by the way, is, if you take that away from private businesses, they're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
If you take that away, that extends, the implications of removing that are now that you can basically walk into a private business and be a complete scumbag, trash it, wreck their business. You can fuck it up as much as you want. Yeah. So I'm making this very good point, and I go, I'm not saying the government should be allowed to tell the private business they need to require vax proof. I'm saying the private business should be able to decide if they want to do that. The patrons can make a decision about whether they want to give them their business or not. This is a core tenet to capitalism and the free market and blah, blah, blah. So I go on, and this is where it starts getting spicy.
Right.
This is where I start fucking slam dunking on people. I mean, already I thought I fucking should be, a lawyer or maybe a Supreme Court justice.
You told people one time outside of a bar that you got in a huge fight with them, and you said that you could study for the bar for a week,
like 2
and
weeks,
you said you could pass it in a week.
Not a week. No,
you said that.
You 3 weeks easy.
I think I said 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months I could.
It was not 3 months.
It was like a month.
It was literally.
It was not a week.
It was a week.
No.
No.
It was a week.
No way.
It was a week. You said it was a week.
I couldn't. Well, I'll rescind that. I couldn't do it in a week.
That was also.
I could do it all 3 months, yes.
That was also the same night that someone was talking about their breaking up with their girlfriend, like a really long-term
and
relationship.
Joey was like, my dog just died. Who cares about you and your girlfriend?
Well,
he goes, I just had to put to rest a beauty in my life. Who cares that you fucking broke up with your girlfriend? You can't sleep with her anymore. Who gives a shit?
So on that, I'll tell you. So on that, I'll tell you my perspective is. So I bought a beautiful dog, yes, on the Ukrainian black market.
Yeah, I drove you. I drove you to the guy in Irvine. We went and bought this dog.
But you know what? And somewhere I have a picture of Devin in the parking lot where this Ukrainian made us meet him to do this illegal dog transaction. And Devin's holding the dog, and it's the sweetest picture ever. That was the best dog. Maybe we'll put that on the Patreon. Meadow is the sweetest dog ever. I talked to Devin. I go, what should I name the dog? I'm thinking about names. And all my friends are like, do a funny name. Do a funny name.
Name her Tits McGee.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't, I get it. Or name her Susan. That'd be, I'm like, I guess that's funny in some weird way. It's not. And also, it's like a dog that I'm going to be living with.
People always forget you're going to be with the dog. You're supposed to be with it for like a decade.
Exactly.
You don't want to call a dog Susan for a decade.
Exactly. And, you know, you're still going to love the dog, but it's like, okay, I'm not going to commit to a 10-year-long goof. So, Devin, I think it was your idea to name her Meadow,
I think I said Meadow, yeah.
So Devin's like, Meadow would be cool. And I go, you know, by itself is a really nice name. Mm-hmm. And then also, of course, The Sopranos. So I named her Meadow. And so we get this dog off the black market from a Ukrainian man.
And we're driving
in
it
a parking lot.
We go in the parking lot. There's a Petco in the parking lot. We go to the Petco. We buy all this dog stuff. And it's like we're driving. We have like an hour and a half trip back home. And I'm driving it. And we're just having the greatest time with this fucking beauty. And, you know, Parvo, I guess. She got Parvo. She had Parvo from the breeder, this piece of shit idiot that sold it to us, that sold her to us.
What did you say, Indian?
No, the piece of shit breeder that sold her to us. And
yeah, no,
she died.
She died, and it was the greatest dog ever. It was like he handed her off to me and Devin, and she was like sleepy, and we were like, oh, I guess she just had like a long drive. She's a sleepy pup,
but she had a fever. She was sick.
She was sick, and then so I brought her back to my place, and you know, every once in a while she could play fetch and stuff, but she just kept laying down. And I guess when a dog is sick, this makes it even sadder, is that when they're sick, they want like compassion. Mm-hmm. So like she constantly just needed to be around me. So I'm like holding her nonstop, and she's just finally, after like 3-4 days of it or whatever, where it's like,
you were like,
I've never had a dog.
You were like, something's up.
Yeah, exactly. I've never had a dog, but it's after like 3 days, it was like, okay, something is weird. And I just fucking bailed from work, Ubered to the vet, and like, yeah, she has parvovirus, and here's what we got to do. I spent like fucking...
You spent like
7-8K.
Yeah, you spent like a lot of money. Yeah,
but
he won it back because he sued the guy.
I sued the fucking dirty Ukrainian, and all you dog psychos out there. I now realize there's reputable dog vendors that you go through.
Yeah,
like, I get it. At that point, I bought the dog on a whim because I saw Schoolboy Q had that same dog. I literally, Schoolboy Q on Instagram, with all of his stories were with this like amazing dog. Yeah. And at some point on some day, I was just like, I love that. Let me buy one of these. And I just went, found one on Craigslist. Ends up being from a Ukrainian black market, and just bad luck.
And you were in a really, it was a horrible time. It was a really horrible time. I felt, it was just, I got super sad about it because
and it's one of the saddest things ever.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But so I remember a couple weeks after that, we were at a comedy show, and our friend was talking about breaking up with their girlfriend.
First of all, I completely forgot why
Joey was just hammered and still reeling with.
And this fucking dumbass just broke up with his stupid girlfriend.
And Joey,
and he's acting like it's worse.
This dumbass. Well, he wasn't acting like it's worse. He didn't know. You brought it up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was just commiserating about breaking up with his girlfriend.
Talking about it in the circle. He was off to the side.
Yeah, he was off to the side, and then
you attacked him.
You were just drunk, and you were sick of hearing him talk about his girlfriend, and you were like, all right, enough. Nobody cares about you and your girlfriend. Yeah. I just laid to rest a beautiful pup. He started screaming at everybody about how they didn't care that your dog died, and everyone's like, "Well, everyone's like, well, that's horrible too, Joey, but it doesn't take away from the fact that he broke up with his girlfriend."
Not true. So that's not true at all. You missed a couple. You missed a couple parts of that conversation where it was like, he would sit there complaining about his dumbass bullshit.
It's all his fault.
No, he was sitting there going like, oh, I'm a sad loser. My girlfriend broke up with me. And I was going like, oh, that is sad.
It was like his girlfriend for like 5 years.
Yeah, no, like they were dating.
Half a decade.
They weren't engaged or anything. They were just dating for whatever, a couple years. And then so he's going, oh, you know, I'm really sad about it. And so at some point I was like, dude, I'm actually sad too. My dog just.
You didn't say it like that.
No, that was the first time I brought it up.
Hot. No, you literally shut him down. You go, all right. Who cares?
Yeah, you said who
about
cares?
your stupid girlfriend? I just laid to rest a beautiful dog.
No.
My dog just died, and nobody cares.
No. So that was the first mention of it to him, where I go like, "Dude, I feel your pain, brother. I'm sad as well, brother." And he goes,
"I'm sad as well, brother."
And then he just did one of these where he's just like, you're right," and like just like didn't acknowledge my sadness. And then later it's just like he's still pouting, and then
he's still pouting,
and then finally we reached the boiling point where I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like I'm like I like, dude, what is this, a big pity party? Like, I have a dead dog. Like, your girlfriend, she's not texting you anymore. Like, shut up, dumbass. Sweet Meadow is been cremated. And he had a bone to pick with that, and for crying out loud, if I had to shed a tear for every fucking loser friend that broke up,
true. It's like, who gives a shit at this point?
Sake. If I have to care about every fucking dumbass relationship,
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So
you had more of a bone to you suffered a bigger tragedy.
Yeah, it's true.
So, anyways, let's quickly finish this.
Let's finish up the comments and let's wrap this up.
So, dominating Akiko, the Japanese man,
tail in his ass,
trotting around like a bunny with a foxtail butt plug. He vanished, by the way, after he realized, like, oh wait, this guy
he's
is
like responding.
Willing to respond.
Yeah.
He disappeared. So then this other guy, oh God, it's another like brony. It's a furry.
It's another furry.
The guy's name is Rorbert, like Robert, but Rorbert.
By the way, I support you. If you love the podcast, I support you. If you love my videos, I support you.
Oh, me too, by the way. Like, dude, Rorbert.
We're kidding. We're fucking around.
Or the Japanese guy, if you're out there, like...
Aiko.
If you actually listen, Akiko...
Apparently, Joey's been in an argument with Taika Waititi.
By the way, I live in Little Tokyo.
Jojo Rabbit.
I live in Little Tokyo.
Is fighting Joey.
So I God bless Japanese people. It's my favorite culture. Akira Kurosawa is my favorite.
Yeah, Japanese people are the best. They're my favorite Asians.
I love the samurai, everything. So, anyways, Japanese cock disappears to refit his butt plug. This new brony appears.
Yeah.
Rorbert Beartheon. So it's like a bear-themed name. Like
Robert,
but
loves
it's Roar. And then his last name is like Barathon, but he loves Burathon, but he made it Barathon. Yeah, he's a bear guy. He's probably a bear.
He loves bears.
So, but he kind of comes in with a semi-compelling argument. He goes, and just how do you expect these businesses to know the private medical statuses of patrons before they enter without some violation of people's privacy? Sounds like you didn't think your position out very well. Also, businesses can't deny service to black folks, so there's already a precedent for the government meddling with that no shirt, no shoes shit, right? So gets a little foggy at the end, but he's making a compelling point. Mm-hmm. So this is my final comment, and then we're going to get off this, but whoa, mamma mia, do I come in with the best response ever. And let me just...
Had to take a shot right before reading the response. Here we go.
Wow.
So, Wowie.
So I go, yes, private businesses are prohibited from discriminating based on race by the Civil Rights Act of 1964. if you're against government meddling, like how he put it, then you should also be against the government stepping in to prohibit private businesses from being allowed to ask about safety precautions relating to a virus that is killing old and fat people en masse. I guess there's an argument for zero meddling and letting private businesses not serve people based on race or anything else, and then letting the free market decide whether or not they want to give them their business. But if that's what you support, then you should be fully in favor of allowing them to ask about virus stuff. If you are in favor of government meddling, then I can help you with that. But no one is required to enter a private business and are also not required to answer any questions they feel uncomfortable with. Entering someone's private business without an invitation and then being asked a question by them is not even close to being a violation of privacy. If we made requesting information illegal, where do we draw the line? Are restaurants and bars also banned from asking about health-related concerns regarding food allergies? Can a waiter ask how your day is going?
You're like liberal Tucker Carlson right now.
It seems Since when do liberals defend freedom? Adamantly. You got it all back.
I was trying to make you sound better. I said Tucker Carlson. I didn't want to say you sound like Tucker Carlson.
Well,
so I threw in liberal to offset the fact that I'm relating you to Tucker Carlson.
Nothing liberal about a guy defending freedom.
You sound like Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson actually, is against the virus. He's against any virus precautions.
Listen,
it's not a crystal clear.
We get it.
This guy's. I'm in favor of.
It's a paragraph right there. You wrote that's a novel.
No, I have like one more sentence left in this.
Let's go.
But so by the way, this is dynamite as far as
it's dynamite.
As far as I'm concerned, I might start a new podcast where I just read my own comments. But so listen, it's not a crystal, and that's why these fucking idiots are having the same trouble where they're giving me conflicting political beliefs where this guy's like, oh, the government's already meddling with stuff. I don't want them to do any more meddling. And yet he wants them to meddle and say they're not allowed to ask for vaccine. So these people are just fucking dumb fucks. It's the same thing as liberals who are saying, I am in favor of people making their own I'm in favor of freedom when it comes to abortion stuff. Right. I think people should have the freedom. And then when it comes to gun stuff, I'm now against freedom. So it's these dumb fuck idiots that are so subscribed to their side of the political ideology that they can't even think for themselves.
Yeah. It's all If you can't just have a normal, honest opinion about something because of your political ideology, it's
so very, I end. This is the last sentence. It seems to me like you're the one who hasn't put a lot of thought into this. I personally find asking for a vaccination status obnoxious, but they should definitely be allowed to do it in a free country. And guys, listen, man.
Drop the mic.
Let's fucking come on, guys.
Okay.
What are we talking about here, you fucking cucks?
Exactly.
You furry cucks.
Does a dog shit in the motherfucking woods? All right, that's all.
All right.
All right.